Well, sounds like the air show's about to start. Bees invaded the Santa Claus. It's a beehive now. But they're beehiving right at the moment. Ha! So what I did was, I dug a bunch of this nice dirt from under these cedars here. And eat it, bug. Too many bugs. Mild winter. Ugh. And I shoveled it into here through this piece of rabbit hutch wire here to sift it. And then after that, using the bread pan there, I scooped it up and then sifted it through here, so not all of it, but most of the larger particles are out. And so you end up with this really clay heavy mud, especially in this dirt. And so my grounding here is I have this wire, which is going to that steel rod in the ground right there to keep it electrically grounded. This is my little cart I made here so I could roll it around. There's no way I'm lifting it with no handles when it's got stuff in it because it's quite heavy. And what seems to really help is with the more gallons issues and just everything in general is this down at the bottom. It's gooey mud. It's like suction cup mud. So, right, that's that for some mud. So, it seems to help a lot. Do is kind of like work your foot down into it. And you know they have those pads that are supposed to draw the stuff out of your toxins out of your body through your soles of your feet and such. I'm not sure they work well. This kind of is along the same lines, I think. And I just found a blue ball. I don't know what that was. The mud's probably like, at least 3-4 inches thick, probably more, 5. I put a lot of dirt in here. And so it suction cups to your skin, like, so I just kind of like sit here for a while and let my feet soak down. You can't really see it, but soak down into there, and the mud seals in around it, and then you just kind of like lift your toes a little bit, and it creates a huge vacuum on your toes, your toenails, and all that, which in turn pushes the mud down into the little cracks in your skin where the fungus lives, and it just can't resist that mud, and it really sticks to you. It suctions on there is one thing, but I've noticed that if you like glaze yourself with mud, because I've done this, and let it dry, wearing some shorts on a hot day and you'll be all covered with mud so you look like an aborigine, right? Wait for it to dry, and it doesn't dry everywhere the same. It'll dry through, large areas. Like on me, there is a swath like right down the top middle of my forearm. Like, I can't point at it and hold the camera at the same time. But, and it stayed gooey there, and it was right along the tendon and muscle. And I noticed that all over there were spots, especially near your glands, of course, that didn't dry. Even after hours, they were still moist from what they were drawing out of the skin. Like ridiculous amounts, more than anybody would really think or realize, or if they even thought about it. But yeah, it would dry where the skin was okay, or I don't have too many issues. And where I do have issues is where it would just stay gooey wet, and I clean it off, and it was just kind of, and it feel way better afterwards. Skin color, texture issues are way reduced. Bugs trying to swarm me issues reduced. Static issues are reduced. Like static, touch something to get shocked. Oh, the airplane's coming though. Here comes the attack bugs. Get out of here, motherfucker. See, it'll get relatively calm with the bugs. No joke. The bugs will tone down, and it'll be quiet for a moment, and then oh, I heard an airplane coming, and then oh, well, here comes an airplane, and the bugs seem to jump up and start getting all happy and up in your face. And NASA talked about co-opted insects in their 2001 leaked memo of their, Kimberly T. Rails campaign, which is also being done by NASA. Aren't they great? And they got everybody wearing their t-shirts and we're going to Mars next. Oh, yeah, sure, that's what's going on. So that's what we should be concentrating on, right? Going to other planets, because this one sucks. What are we going to do with all these stupid fields and trees? Cut down these trees and build some houses, then we'll make some money, and then maybe it'll be worth something. That's what's going on. This is the last time this field will be plowed, because it's going to be a subdivision soon. Those trees with the X's on them are all going down, because the road's got to come through with the sidewalk and convenience store probably somewhere close by. And who's buying these houses anyway? Everybody I know is broke as a joke, unless they're getting government contracts. And if you count the people getting government contracts for their, private businesses, the government directly or indirectly is employing about, I would guesstimate, 60% of the actual people who work and build and create things in the country. That's most of the people. And then there's the people directly employed by the government, your park rangers and the police and the military and all of their bureaucratic infrastructure in the offices that push papers and sit at desks and do whatever they do. Appropriate funds, whatever. I mean, what a fucking dog and pony show. This country is a sad, sad, sad joke played on all the people that believe anything was ever legit about it. It's the worst place in the world. It is the great Satan. If there was such a thing, right? But you really can't put a name on evil, nor can you put a name on good. So in my humble opinion, we shouldn't try and name God. We shouldn't try and name the devil. That's silly, because they exist outside of names. They exist outside of our ability to perceive. They exist beyond that. Things that in realms that we don't grasp. We don't even realize are there because we can't perceive them. But we can postulate, right? We did get sense and reason for a reason. I'm just doing my mud walk here. It suction cups up every time. There is quite a bit of gravel and gunk in here still. I'm going to have to sift it some more. But yeah, so don't give it names. It has a million names. And to try and say, this is one entity, this one incarnation is God or is the devil or whatever, just shows ignorance. I mean, can two evil things happen at the same time? Oh, that's weird. It feels like mesh over my skin, but I pulled it up and it's just a cohesive piece of mud for some reason. Yes, of course, two bad things can happen at the same time, on the same day even, in different places. Because, it's all over. It's what the universe is made of, probably. The old duality battle between plus and minus. And neither one ever wins. They just go through periods of fluctuation, which is probably why the wave theory, idea of the universe, like Mr. Tesla was talking about, it's not just an electrical wave. People try and divorce themselves from any, for lack of a better word, spiritual aspect of the world. They detach from it and say into the sciences. Like, well, maybe long ago people didn't realize what electricity was. They only had magnetism, and they didn't know quite what it was doing either. And we still don't know what it's doing or how it comes to be, but we can do a lot of stuff with it. But people now will try and say, well, then that means we don't have to think about consciousness, or the fact, the double slit experiment supposedly that shows that consciousness affects the particle or the wavicle, whatever they want to try and define it as. They're trying to show that consciousness affects the outcome of things. I'm like, yeah, oh, okay, it does, doesn't it? Just observing. That may be true. I don't know. It does fall in line with the consciousness aspect of existence. That's like things are organized and logical, I guess, as if by some, design. How does random, chaotic nothing that exploded from nothing become something over time, especially with their laws of entropy? Whereas entropy says all systems degrade over time. How did this system not degrade over time? Well, that stays stuck to me quite well where my toes are, which is where the worst issues are. My little piggy is all swollen looking. Needs to fucking chill out, right? Need some mud on there. Anyway, so there's some thoughts while I'm walking in the mud. Oh, it's hot out today too, but this is nice because the water's cold. When I first filled it up, it was cold out, so I thought that I couldn't get in because I couldn't come up with a way to heat the water at the time. Because hot mud baths are good, but now that it's hot outside, it doesn't bother me being cold. And my feet feel so much better and look so much more normal after I'm in this stuff. Yeah. Ooh. Don't sit still, the bugs are coming. Alright, so yeah. I think that's all I had to say about that. Well, I could show my e-bike here real quick. I'm working on. Who knows if I'll finish it, but check it out. I chopped it here so it would rake out a little more. I'm thinking about putting a springer on the front end, front end. Spring right here, arms coming up right. And the seat is going to work well too. This is from one of those chairs for, with that stand goes on. Still got to put a spring under the seat too. It'll have a spring there. Yeah. It's almost recumbent. So you get a get a little support structure for extra support and a spring on the seat. So it's got a little spring. I might have to get longer handlebars. And then this is raked down to there. Should be all right. And then with the springer, it'll put the front wheel maybe another 4 inches forward or so. 3 inches. Not too far, just a little bit. Blah. The bugs are coming here. When you're sitting in there, your feet want to be like about right here. So I'm thinking off of the weld on this. Also come like foot rests, or little running boards maybe. And batteries can go under the seat. This is a steel pan in the seat, so might be able to hang them off of that even. Yeah. And this is a 1 kilowatt motor. 48 volt 1 kilowatt motor. And we just go and put a sprocket. I don't know how big the sprocket's going to need to be because this is only a 20-inch wheel, so it won't have to be quite as huge as it is on like a 26-inch or something. I'm thinking. I don't know if I can get away with running a 18-speed sprocket and just putting it on the top biggest cog, but that's my plan at the moment. And this lines up nice, and it took me half an hour of puzzling over it for a while to see, but there's the motor mount there. I need to back it up on the other side, but it's actually pretty level like that, isn't it? That's kind of cockeyed. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to loosen that one up and balance it out between the two. But it fits right there, just enough room to clear the tire. So the chain will be minimal. And I want to, I mean, this is a permanent magnet motor, so it's also a generator. So what I want to do is incorporate a bi-toroid transformer and figure that system out for, well, that's a different thing. Bi-toroid, I'll look into that. But if you want to know about bi-toroid transformers, just look them up in the search box. Regenerative, though, I wanted to, when you let off the throttle, charge back to the batteries, and all that good stuff. So, what am I thinking? I'm thinking braking too, electric braking and recharging. So that would be nice, but that's not critical at the moment. It just the overall thing going. I kind of like it. It's got a nice flow to it. I like this front wheel too with the extra big hub. I got to see if I can find the match for the back. That would be sweet. But the back wheel might need to be quite customized. I don't know. It's got to be heavy duty, whatever it is, because it's a 1 kW motor. I don't want to twist the spokes off or something. Probably won't do that. But yeah. So there's my e-bike. All right. Back to the mud. Take care.